we are. We are live at the Mosaic Art Fair, the 28th annual Mosaic Fine Art Festival. Wow, 28 years, Gordon.
Say that, 28.
Oh my gosh. I had fun. So while you were having to do all the setup, I was able to walk down the street and see just a fraction of the art that's here today. We're going to meet a few of the artists. We're going to talk to Melinda Nolan and find out what's all going on this week. And of course, this started last night, and we've been invited back to come here again and be live here with the In Your City show, which we love. It's a beautiful Saturday. Last year we were sweating bullets. Is that the right thing that you say?
Sweating bullets.
It was
hot, wasn't it, last year?
It was so hot. And today it's absolutely gorgeous. There's a little bit of a kind of a cloudy overhaze, so you're not getting beat down with sun. But it's an incredible day. Our show is brought to you by City Lifestyle, Chesterfield, Clayton, and St. Charles County Lifestyle magazines. Melinda Nolan is going to be sitting with us. She is the owner of Roemer Originals. And if you haven't been in that art, it is art. It's a jewelry store, but it is fine art. I mean, each jewelry piece that you wear is an original, and she's going to sit down and talk with us. So this started on Friday. It's going to go through till Sunday, and our question of the day is, do you have a favorite piece of art or a favorite artist? And we've got some people that have been answering on Facebook, so we'll share some of those as well, and then find out with the people that we talked to today what their favorite artist or art piece is. So let's see, what is one of them that we have? I've got so many videos going up of different things. I had to take a minute. So let's see. Crystal Langenberg says Frida Kahlo. Have you heard of that artist?
Who?
Frida Kahlo. Or
No.
Kahlo. I'm not sure if I said that right. Zach Smithley.
When it comes to authors and artists, I'm not too good.
Yeah, I am with my favorite, but I'm not real knowledgeable. I guess I should say I'm not a connoisseur or something that I know, all the artists' name. Vincent van Gogh. How about that one?
So what's he famous for? What's the one thing that comes to your mind when you say Vincent van Gogh?
His ear. Not his art, but his ear.
I was going to say, lend me an ear. Let me an ear.
A Greg Fopple says, anything my grandson or granddaughter draws, which of course we still have Chance's artwork on the refrigerator.
We should have brought that.
We should have brought that because it's so cute, actually.
It is. It's
and
abstract.
I'm a queen.
What would you call it? Would you call it
Picasso?
Abstract? Picasso.
It's a Picasso. I have a great big head. I'm wearing a crown, all kinds of colors. So we'll mention some of the things that people have mentioned as their favorite on Facebook. You can go in and place that. Today we are live on my Facebook page, sharing it to In Your City show.
Sharing it to my page
Gordon's
as well.
page as well. So we're gonna, let's see. I guess we should get started here and bring Melinda on and talk about what's going on at the art fair rather than me getting all into it and talking about it. I should let her tell us a little bit because they're showcasing the finest local, regional, and national artists. People from all over come to this event. So let's bring Melinda on. Come on in. How are you? Good. I know we mentioned earlier Melinda Nolan. She owns Roemer's Original, which is down here in St. Charles, and she's also on the board to help put this incredible event on. Have you been doing this yourself for 28 years?
Oh gosh, no.
You kind of got brought into it later.
I think I've forgotten which year, but I think it's been about 6 years that I've been a part of this.
That's a long time.
We've been coming for longer than that as a visitor, but yeah, as far as putting it together.
So you take the day off on Monday to sleep all day long after an event like this, and then do you start preparing on Tuesday again for the next year?
Not quite that quick. Luckily I have Mondays off anyway.
This is a big undertaking.
It is.
I mean, I just went, of course, first when one of the artists walked by and had a bakery box and said he had just been to Mr. Miowski's. Did I say that correctly?
I think so.
It's been here 2 years, and I did not know it's been here. And we walk these streets all the time. It's amazing how you can miss things. You think you know everything down here, and then you find a treasure all the time around here. So I walked in there, first the smell and these big breads baking.
Oh, so good.
We had the ham and cheese croissant, which, in all honesty, when I looked at it, I'll be honest, I thought it was
eaten, but
I thought it was going to be like rock hard, and I asked him if he'd warm it, and he said, "You don't want to. They just came out of the oven. They're perfect." So I believed him. They were not rock hard. They melt in your mouth. They're
So
super
buttery.
Yes,
Yes.
super buttery, soft on the inside, just a little croissant almost feeling on the outside.
Mr. Meowskis.
Yeah. So if you've not found this hidden treasure and missed out like I did, it's definitely worth going by. Cookies, their chocolate chip cookie. Had one of those. Then went over to Picasso's, and which I've been there numerous times and got my favorite cappuccino there. So, it's such a fun experience. First of all, just to come down to historical Main Street in St. Charles. Again, all the shops and everything around have a little bit of everything. But then when you put a big event on like this and walk the streets, it's an experience.
It really is.
It's an experience. How many art vendors do you have?
We have just shy of 100. We had a few cancellations right at the last minute.
That always
Unfortunately,
happens, doesn't
one of them
it?
had a car accident.
Oh, gosh.
Another one just got sick. So it's just shy of 100 artists here this weekend.
Which is a lot. So we started, it's actually further down this year
It
than
is.
what it was last year.
I know, because I'm like, I got this. I know where we're
know where to
supposed to
park.
park. I know exactly. It's the same place we parked last year.
Nope.
And that's the man not listening to directions and just thinking he knows what's going on.
And that's exactly what happened. Because I said, Gordon, we got the email where we're supposed to go. Oh, I know where we're going. And so, but it all worked out. It
Yes.
worked out. Pulled up next to Walter's Jewelry, which is a friend of Gordon's. So that
Yeah,
helped
Chris.
us out to be able
Yep.
to use that. But we found a parking spot really easy. So,
Yeah.
but I think we did get here early.
Yes.
So that
Parking
worked out.
probably will fill up with, I'm sure, how crowded it will get today.
So before we talk about everything that's going on, it was nice to still see the Mary Hediger Memorial Art Shop for Kids, that we're still recognizing her and remembering her. And it still seems like it is for all of us when we lose someone close to us or someone that we've known for a long time. It just never gets easy thinking that person isn't here. And she was just a wonderful soul and a really big part of this art fair.
She was a very big part of this art fair. Yes,
And
it was. I mean, it was very close to her heart, and she dedicated so much time to promoting this event for us. So,
Yeah.
and just a wonderful person. So yeah, we miss her a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad to see that is still here. So of course yesterday it went till 9 p.m. Today it's going to go till 8 p.m.
Yes.
And then back going tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. It'll go to 4 p.m.
Yes.
What kind of things can you experience? We know that there's over 100 vendors here going on. What else? I just saw everything from jewelry, pottery, incredible art of all different types. I mean, the wooden pieces too. Gosh, I've got her name in my pocket. Neshama, did I say that correctly? Neshama
Neshama
Roche. Her art it looks like
It's
a
surreal.
glass painting that you could step inside of. It's beautiful. And I'm taking pictures of it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. But there's so many that, but
There are.
that's the thing about art. We all have a taste.
Yep.
And what grabs my attention, something else might grab someone else's attention. And I'm sure there's people that probably come down here every year to try to find their favorite artist and maybe get a new piece.
Yes. And I mean, there's regulars where we have people that apply every year that have been coming for years to the Mosaics Festival. And they're wonderful artists, so of course they get juried back in. And then every year we have a lot of new artists too. So it's really exciting to see all of the applications, to see all of the art that comes through, and it's all so different.
Yeah.
Even we've got several photographers that are here, but they all have a different take on what catches their eye. So like you said, it's the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
There is art for everyone down
Do you
here.
have a certain? I mean, we know that you have an art for jewelry, but do you have an eye for something that tends to catch your eye, your heart?
I love all kinds of art, and that's why I'm so involved in this organization. I have tons of art from lots of different artists on my wall at home and my own. So
you're an artist as well.
I am.
Really?
And I
what's
play
your
with
style?
I have lots of different mediums, and unfortunately I don't really have a style because I love to dabble in lots of different things. Probably the thing I do the most is work with pastels. So, but yeah, I just have that's part of the appreciation too, because since I do dabble in so much, I appreciate all of the art forms that I see here, because I know the kind of work and creativity that goes into them.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I am so mad at my parents.
Everything's flowing everywhere.
Yeah, I am so mad at my parents because my dad was an artist. He could sketch. He could sit here and sketch you in minutes
Really?
and look just like you. He started dabbling into, I guess, watercolors and pastels, oils.
Okay. Mhm.
Oils, and later in life, which were just incredible. My mom, she became the bedazzler queen after, she started getting older. Everything was bedazzled.
Yep.
But she loved to paint when she was younger. It's like, okay, what happened? Why didn't I get any of those skills to have it, the art? It's skipping a generation. So I bought a paint by number, and I thought I
Yeah.
would do that for, stress relief. And I set an easel up in our family room and got my little paints there. And I've, maybe hit 5 little spots on the butterfly that I'm painting. It's just sitting there looking like an artist lives in the house. But finding the time, because I thought it would be a
Yes.
huge stress release, to be able to sit there and do that, painting. And I'm kind of mad that I don't take more time, but we work so much.
It's a busy
and
life, yes.
It is a busy life. Do you find much time to paint yourself?
Well, I have narrowed it down now to only 3 days a week at the store if I can.
Yeah.
So that I have a little more time to work on my art.
Right.
But it's still hard sometimes because, the other things get in the way,
Yeah.
housework, taking care of family, taking the dog to the vet or whatever. Just life gets in the way of doing art. You definitely have to make your priorities and choose the time.
Well, this art fair is making me start my paint by number again.
There you
I'm
go.
going to
I
get
was
to
going to
it.
say, what's going on with that? I walk by it every day trying to see, has she started? Or it's
5.
like,
I've got 5, 2 numbers going, and 5 spots. And there's, I would say, 50,000 spots to paint on this butterfly. I mean,
How big is it?
well, it's about
Oh,
that
wow.
big.
Yeah.
But it's so meticulous on the colors, and I need like a magnifying glass to see the numbers so that I can figure out what color. My paint's probably dried out by now, but the thing is, they're all numbered, so I can't. I have to use those paints, or I'm going to just have to make up my own colors, I guess, on the butterfly.
yeah.
So if I had that creativity, I could probably just paint it myself and come up with my own colors. But no, I'm not that brilliant enough to be able to do that.
We'll do a few paint by numbers, and then that might help train your eye and train you to
Get
to
it
do it on your own.
moving.
I know.
So back to the art fair, we were talking about Mary Hediger, and then we were asking that we know there's so many different types of artists, but what else is taking place here? Is there anything else that we can find along the path during the art show? Okay.
Definitely, yes. We have live entertainment, so we have that going on 2 different stages. We have the children's village, where they're going to do make and take projects, and the women, the teachers at the Art Foundry are the ones that are running that for
Okay.
us, which is wonderful because they do this for a living. So
Right.
they've got, I think, 3 or 4 projects down there that the kids can work on today. That goes from 11 to 4 today and tomorrow.
Okay.
We also have the Children's Art Shop, which is the thing that's dedicated
Right next
to
door,
Mary
right?
Hediger, yes. And that is for kids ages probably about 4 to 14, because we allow the kids to come in and shop. For $5 or $10, they can buy an item that the artists here have donated just for this purpose.
Oh,
the
fun.
parents don't go in the tent with them.
No.
So that the
No
kids,
parents allowed.
Yeah, so that the kids can express their own sense of what they love as art. So parents
we
won't
get in
pick
the
it
way.
out. Yes.
We get in the
do
way,
that a
start
lot.
telling them
"Ooh,
what to
look
do.
at that. I
This
like
would be
that.
better."
Yeah. Mommy likes that one. And we don't want any of that to happen.
No.
We want the kids to actually pick what they like.
Right.
And then we send the whole family down to that artist so that they can meet them and learn more about their art and how they make it and all that. So yeah, wonderful way to get the kids enthused about art. We also have the Joyce Rosen Founders exhibit, which is just to the left here. She was the founder of the Mosaics Art Festival. She also started the Art Foundry, and she was part of starting, I think, several festivals in the St. Louis area. So we have dedicated that to her.
We forgot to call the airport and have them redirect the planes another route
Yes.
while we're on.
Yes, you'll hear planes and golf carts today.
Because they are coming like there's a
The
lot of
joys
people
of doing
traveling.
live.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back to
But
Joy.
yes, so the Joyce Rosen exhibit is
Here, I'll just do this.
it's high school kids from the whole surrounding area. Their teachers have nominated them to exhibit a piece of art, and they will actually be in the running for scholarship money this
that's
weekend. So
great.
it's not for sale, it's just, for exhibit for people to look at and enjoy and encourage those emerging artists to
Sure.
continue with their artwork. So,
And
that's
what
another
these
thing.
things do. I mean, besides the fun of doing something, getting out on the weekend, people who love art, it really does, when you have things like this and you involve the children and the kids, that's what keeps allowing them to get stimulated and kind of
Inspired.
to want to get out there and find their passion in
Yes.
art. So I think, and art's so important.
It
I mean,
is.
I can't believe at one time they were thinking about, taking out music and art
I
into
know.
the schools because you really, really need it for the children. I mean,
Yeah.
it really does help to inspire them. And it works on a part of the brain that helps to stimulate, the educational, I guess, side of us.
Well, and those classes were part of what made me look forward to going to school because I also love
That and
music.
gym class.
Yeah. No, not gym class. In fact, I think gym class was one of my worst grades.
Well, especially
Yeah.
when they made you start changing into a uniform.
Uniforms,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to forget too. We do have a pet adoption tent here too, the pet pavilion.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
I know. So yeah, it's straight,
Hence
straight
Olive
paws
on our front
adoptables.
cover, which that's
Yes.
the best adoption we've ever done in our life.
I had a 3-dog limit. I have 4.
3 dogs.
So
3-dog limit, and you have 4.
And you have 4, and birds.
yeah, and I do have two parrots, although they weren't rescued. I got them from a breeder, but yeah, so we do have the pet pavilion also from 11 to 4 today and tomorrow.
Okay.
So that you can go down there and put in an application to adopt whatever pets they may have right now.
And you have
So-
some music as well
Yeah,
going
there's
on down
another
there.
stage down there too. Yes.
And it looks like you've got the World Jazz, 4th Street Band, and Cherry and Dean Duo.
Okay, yes.
Cherry and, okay, good. Cherry and Jerry Duo. It sounds like an ice cream is actually what it sounds like going on. And then is there anything else that we mentioned? Oh, now wait a minute. Let's talk a little bit about, let's see, we've got our next guest. Is our guest, do they know to be here or someone have to go find them?
yeah, somebody was supposed to go get them,
Let's
but
hope
I haven't
that
seen her.
Let's
yet.
hope that we find them because
I
we
know.
should have
He
Andrew
knows
with us right
11:30.
now.
He knows 11:30. I talked to him.
Okay, so maybe he'll
okay.
just jog down.
He'll come down. Oh yeah, we're still early. Sure, we're on time. So let's talk about. You have total of $5,000 that's going to be awarded to the top 9 artists. So
Yes.
tell a little bit about that.
So there's one best of show.
Okay.
We have 2 judges that are walking the street. I don't know if they started last night, but they're definitely walking the street today and talking with the artists, learning about how the artists make their pieces of art and judging on however they judge. We pick different judges every year because we don't want the same opinions. Because obviously any judging is going to be somewhat
Preference to what
based
they like.
on opinion, right?
Yeah.
So we choose different judges every year. They will go through and then they will figure out who they are deciding is best of show. And then the other awards are awards of merit. So they are all equal, the other 8. Just people that they feel were really outstanding in their trade.
Presentation. Just
I mean, yeah,
everything.
it all goes into it. Yes, presentation, how they do their work. I mean, that's why it's good for the judges to talk with them too, because sometimes just understanding their process is amazing.
Yeah.
Because some of these pieces of art, take hours and hours, and they have 15 layers to get the depth of what they have, or it's so interesting to walk around and talk with all of them.
And like when we were reading about the artists that you're bringing on, and what inspires them. I mean, each one you wonder like, what is it where did it come from? What inspired them to just start doing what they're doing and realize what their talent was. And then because we have someone that we met years ago that do we have her on a radio show or feature in the magazine? I can't remember, but I mean, what in the world possessed her one day to say, I'm going to make an art, which looks like a painting of Ozzie Smith made out of records or baseball gloves.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can't remember her name. It's in my life right now.
Baseball gloves, or an artist to make it out of a musician out of records, and baseball player out of bats. I mean, she takes these used pieces. We gave her a ton of CDs that we had because we knew that she made things out of recycled stuff. It's like, where do you just get up and think, they look identical. They look like a painted piece, and it's using bits and pieces of a material that kind of represents, like a boxer. She did a boxing glove.
So it's a mosaic, basically, of different pieces of things.
It's like, how do you get inspired to think to do something like that? And it is the hours that go into it. And just because you're an artist doesn't mean, I guess, that's where the word starving artist comes from, right?
It's not an easy life trying to make your living doing art.
Yeah. And yes, please take one. But now you have artists. They're not just from St. Louis. You have artists that come from all over the United States. And so do you have a furthest that you know of that's here, where they're from?
I'm not sure. I know we've got a couple from Florida. I don't know if that's the farthest or not. But yeah, every year we have different states that come in.
Lindsay Warner.
Yeah.
Lindsay Warner, who's we're talking about.
Yeah. Warner, because there's no R in there.
Warner. Is it Warner?
It's not Warner. It's Wanner.
It is Warner. Yeah, you're right.
And it's like washing machine, right? You just add an R in it if you feel like it. But so we're going back to, you have artists from all over. I do see some of the signs say, St. Louis on some of the signs, but they're coming from all over. There's a juried selection of how they're picked, and I know the winners get to automatically come back, and some come back. And then how long does the process take place for you selecting the artist?
We usually close applications. Well, last year I think we closed them at the end of April. Then the jury gets about 4 weeks to go through all of the applications. This year I think we had 130, 140 applications. And then we narrow it down through the jury process. So the jurors, we usually have 3 or 4 jurors that look at all of the art, read the artist description of what they do. A lot of the time they do put some of the information about what inspires them in that too, so it's nice.
Kind of tell a story.
And then the jurors then narrow it down to who they think is really a good fit for our festival, because we really don't have like arts and crafts kind of stuff. It's all fine art.
Right.
So, we want it to be all fine art. That's really what this festival is about. So that takes about 4 weeks, and then we notify the artists. And we always have some that can't make it because, of course, like this weekend of this year, there's a lot of festivals around the country. So sometimes they can't be in 2 places at once, that's for sure.
That's true.
Or, we might have some cancellations because people get sick or, whatever. So
I'd imagine artists kind of go around weekend to weekend during the season of art fairs and things that are going on. They're just like almost like a circuit that they're on of where they're chosen, and you have to be chosen to be here. You can't just sign up and be in the art fair.
Right. Yeah, you pay an application fee, then you go through the jury process and see if you get invited. We also did have a wait list, so we invited a certain number, and then we knew if some would drop, we could fill in with some of those wait list people, so we did that. So yeah, it's definitely a process to make sure that we try and get the best of the best.
Incredible. So if you sign up to be one of the artists, what comes with it? Because I see all the tents. Or do you set the whole streets up with the tents and then they get their placement, or do they bring their own?
They bring their own. So we just set aside the spots.
This is their first rodeo.
Yes. So it's just they get this acreage per se, and
they get a plot of land.
They all have. I think they really like to have their own tents and display, because if as you walk the festival, you'll see everybody's got their own setup and the way they display their items, and some would work for some and wouldn't work for others.
Right.
So they really want to have their own setup for that, and some of them have spent a great deal of money just on the tent and their display walls and how they've got it all set up, and that's part of what makes you feel good about the art too. You know,
Yeah.
you hang it on off a wall, it's not going to present as well as if you
Yeah.
have a nice looking booth. So
Now, I know this has been going on. This is the 28th. Has it always been on St. Charles Historical Main Street?
I believe so. Yeah.
Gosh, just think how it's evolved and changed over the years, and just how it's almost like it'd be fun, and maybe you do, to be able to show through the years.
Oh, I wish
of
we had
art
pictures.
because
I know.
and you don't.
No.
I should have been in charge because I take pictures of everything. My
There you
kids are always
go.
like, "Mom, stop taking pictures." I'm like, "You're going to appreciate that I took pictures." Because wouldn't that be amazing to have a now and then of the type of art 28 years ago to where it's evolved, right now?
See, that's your artistic side.
Oh,
See,
she
it's
has
in
one.
there.
Photographer.
Just can't. I just can't draw it though. That's the problem.
And Andrew Rola is
Yes.
the next one. I think he's that way. Yeah.
Yes, we have Andrew. Is it Rola? Is
I think
that how
it's
you
Rola.
say it?
I asked him yesterday because I always said Rola, and I think it's Rola.
I went down there and introduced myself, and I cannot wait to talk about his art.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
I've
I
got
was
some
blown
interesting
away.
questions to ask him.
He is going to be
There's
an
some
interesting
certain
interview.
things. Yeah, there's some certain things in his art. Not only what you're going to bring up, but I have some other things.
Did you
I've
know
noticed
that it
just-
did that? Because we don't want to say yet what
It's
it does.
not so much that. It's just that I've noticed there's certain things in his art that are always in his art pieces, and I want to ask him questions about.
And
that.
I think he's
Okay.
only been doing this extra piece that you guys will talk about for about 4 months. So be sure to ask him
Well,
that.
that's
It's new.
because, again, when we talk about the change and the evolving of technology and what you can do is just blows your mind away.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible.
It is.
really is.
Yeah.
So you're going to have fun learning about that. And then we are going to be talking to Mollie Chounard.
Yes.
Okay. And she is a paintings that tell stories.
And
I
they're
would
kind
have
of fantasy-like.
Yes.
They're so interesting.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that probably a lot of art, I guess, tells a story and why, that they do it. I saw these gorgeous chimes down to my right. You're right, whatever the direction you're sitting. But they're kind of like a dome, and it almost looks like a beautiful little birdhouse in a way, but it's not a birdhouse. And the way I'm seeing it, I guess.
You know what they're made out of?
No.
Gourds.
Really?
wow.
She
that's cool.
carves all of that out of a gourd and then turns it into a beautiful piece of artwork.
They're
Yeah.
gorgeous. I put a picture
Uh-huh.
on the Facebook. See, that's the thing. You wish you had time to be able to talk to every
I know.
artist to really understand what's behind what they do, because you look at that and they're just gorgeous, but I had no idea that it's made out of a
That's
gourd.
my most fun part of this job, per se,
Is knowing.
is getting to talk to all of the artists and learn what they do. I love that.
So what's
Yeah.
your job today besides running around, taking people the golf cart? People are taking people water. So what will you be doing throughout the weekend?
Well, after this was part of it. Luckily today I will actually have some time to visit with the artists and take a look at the booths, because last night I didn't have any of that time. Then we also have dinner for them from Tony's.
Oh, how
Tony's supplied dinner for all the
Yum.
artists tonight.
One of their
Wow,
So-
steaks.
makes me want to be an artist.
One of their
just there.
steaks?
No steaks. Yeah, they had
Burger?
a choice of burgers,
Their
chicken
burgers are
mediga,
fabulous.
or veggie pasta. So yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
wonderful.
And that is
'Cause
so
they're
wonderful
busy.
at Tony's.
And then
Yeah.
that way they gets it. And
Yep.
you're gonna have it. You're gonna have dinner there tonight, or you bring it to their booth, because
We
of course
deliver
this
it
is
to their
going.
booth. Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, so-
is there any sponsors that you'd like to mention that you want to thank? And
Oh,
I'm sorry to
gosh.
put you on the spot because
Yes.
you're not looking at them right now. And my daughter's calling right now.
It always amazes us that they
that
I know, it's like they know.
they're obviously not watching you on Facebook.
Obviously
Yeah.
not watching us whatsoever. That I
You need
just
to
got
give her
that.
trouble about that.
Yeah, let me see if I can, pull up. So I actually have a little. Do you need me to read any of those for you?
No.
Do you see
Actually, I think I
those?
can see them if I hold it, at a distance, because I don't have my glasses on. But yes, TR Hughes is a sponsor of the Pet Pavilion. They have a
friends
big
of
heart
ours,
for
yep, good
pets.
people.
Yes, Missouri Life is our sponsor for the Children's Art Shop.
Okay.
We have Carrollton Bank, Roemer Originals,
Of course.
Chesterfield Service, which is HVAC and appliance repair, St. Louis Homes, let's see, who else do we have? Oh, we had a Wolf law firm. What are all the names in the law firm? Briscoe, Wolf and Williams. We also had Used Jewelry Buyer.
Okay.
Was another sponsor.
I'm thinking they all need to be in our magazine.
Yeah, we can give you
TRUs
all of them. Yes.
There we go.
But yes, we have several signs throughout the entire festival listing all of the sponsors. We have
Because it's great to thank them, because
yes.
with something like this, it's people don't realize how important it is to have, or how important sponsors are, volunteers.
Yes.
I mean, to put on a big event, it's impossible to afford to do what you do if you don't have incredible sponsors that believe in it and want to help with it. And then volunteers are everything, because it's completely not possible to put on an event like this without
Right.
volunteers. How many volunteers do you have?
Well, it depends on if you count the board, because all of the board is volunteers also. We are a complete volunteer organization. No one gets paid to do this. We just all do it because we love it.
Yeah.
The only person we pay is we do have a PR person that it was a friend of Mary Hediger's, and she took over with the PR after
Yay.
Mary, and has helped us a lot and gives us a huge discounted rate. So, Rochelle, Brandvein has been a huge help
Yes,
to us.
love
So I do want to
Rochelle.
mention her too. But without the volunteers' help, this takes a team.
Yeah,
to put this
absolutely.
together, definitely.
Oh,
So
well, I am so glad that you spent some time with us, and someone needs to find Andrew, and we need to find Mollie and get them over here so that we can talk about their art and find out what inspires them, and what else. What else will we need to do?
We will need to go get all kinds of food around here, because that is one of my favorite things being down here.
eat.
I love
Yummy
Main Street.
food.
If I could have a place down here and an office, that would be the ultimate for me.
A place-
Especially one up high where you can look behind and see the river too.
You would never get any work done.
Yeah.
Because you'd be going to all the
I
different
know.
places. I've already said I need to hit up Root Bound. I had a drink last time I was there, which was
Good people.
everything is fresh and organic
Oh,
and
I
healthy.
haven't been there.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, they're right up from Savor, which is a
Okay.
new restaurant
Which is right
down
behind
here,
us.
which is
And
right
they're
behind.
they're
She
getting
tried to help
total,
us with.
They're getting total advertisement time the whole time behind
Yeah.
us.
There's our artist getting brought up like in a limousine right now.
Yes, in the Mosaics limo.
Yes. Well, Melinda Nolan, thank you so much for
Thank you.
introducing the art fair, for being on the board, for helping to put this event on. We wouldn't be here without you. Sorry that Denise Wolf. Is that her
Yes.
last name? Denise is not here. She had to miss it today, but shout out to her as well, and all of the other people that worked so hard to make this event a success, and to Mother Nature for bringing in the gorgeous weather. Well, she just shut down the wind here just a little bit.
Although, slight breeze
Just
is
a
nice.
slight
Yeah.
I was a little
breeze, but-
concerned because I did get on the radar today and I saw this front of rain coming in, and then it was like,
But
of
the
course,
bubbles over the art
it's
fair,
something about
so
St.
it's not
Charles.
going
I
to hit
know.
us.
I'm just liking that it's a little bit of cloud cover, nice and cool. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and we're going to bring on
Yeah.
Andrew right now, and then talk to Andrew and find out
Yes.
about his art.
Kelly,
Thank you so much.
Gordon, both of you, thank you for helping us promote the event.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love
so
it. Thank you
welcome.
so
Love
much.
it.
All right.
Thank you for being a part of City Lifestyle magazines too. Watch all the cords. What everyone can't see is the million cords and lights and cameras and setup. Hi, Andrew. And do we say Rola, Rolay? Rolay, of course. Rolay is so much more artistic, right? Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being on. I'm so glad I was taking a walk and was able to go down and see your gorgeous tent of art, and then I came back to him because, of course, I filmed you, which I also put on my Facebook page. I couldn't believe what you do with your artwork.
It's hard to describe, and it's better if you just see it in person. So
There's a quote that you put on your website, which is Andrew Rola, which is ROLA, Andrew Rola Art. Or I'm sorry, it's just andrewrola.com to go and see your art. And your quote, which I loved, it said, "I needed to first learn to see and understand the world worked, how the world worked, I guess." And because you kind of talked about in your bio, where you did this job and that job, and I guess tried to be a corporate person, and all these things that you ventured through in your life, and you just kept coming back and falling into art, and then talk a little bit about that and where you are now.
So yeah, a little bit of everything I've done in my life is kind of just keeps leading me back to art. I love learning new things, and I've studied engineering and mathematics, everything from cooking, teaching. I've done a little bit of everything, and it all just keep getting drawn back to the art.
And when did this happen? When did you get drawn back to realize I'm an artist and it's what I need to do?
It was about 4 years ago. I decided I'm going to give it a real try. And just
So out of all those things, if any of those past occupations, did they play any part into what your art's doing today?
literally everything I've done, just from even being a teacher, commanding the booth and getting everyone's attention and drawing them all in. They all
Which
come
is
into
not
play.
easy, right?
And then,
not with your art, but being a teacher.
And then all the mathematics and programming and engineering I do.
Hence
with
what
my-
we get to talk about in your art soon. I'm sure the engineering and mathematical part of that brain has really come into what you've done with your artwork.
Yeah.
So you came crashing back into the world of art after you realized that the corporate world and engineering, though I hope you're still cooking.
I do for special people, but
For special
not
people.
professionally anymore.
Oh, you actually cooked professionally.
Yes.
What, as a chef in a restaurant?
Yes. So I've
Oh.
worked in a bunch of restaurants around town, just bouncing around, doing that in my early 20s.
What type of foods?
Mostly Italian, but anything
We're
from
best friends now.
pub restaurants or whatever. Just
Wow, fantastic. So you found that art was where you needed to be, and then from there, what was your first piece?
all my paintings come from dreams. So the first painting I did was, I call it an octophant, and it's a mixture of an elephant and an octopus. It came to me in a dream.
Okay,
And-
maybe we need to talk to somebody.
I was going to ask you
octopus.
about the elephants. I've noticed there's a lot of elephants
Mm-hmm.
in your art. I noticed there's a lot of other things that are in a lot of pieces of your art that I was going to ask you about, but elephants is one of them. I noticed the elephants. I noticed the blue light or blue lanterns in a
Yes.
lot of your art, and then of course the wings on the butterfly, as if it's which is totally opposite. I mean, a hummingbird is very light, right? And butterflies, but then you put the butterfly onto, or you put the wings onto an elephant,
And that's
it's
part
like,
of it. Just they're complete opposites.
They
Just having
are.
the light butterfly wings.
but yet the elephant's going in like a hummingbird
Mm-hmm.
into the flower, which is really cool.
And elephants, the symbol is, I knew it meant something really grand, and so they're symbols of luck and prosperity.
And then to me, they represent family. Like they're very family oriented.
They are, aren't
oriented
they?
animals.
Stay
and-
together
yeah.
forever, which is incredible. Very taking care of their young and watching over them. So I hope that they're bringing you lots of luck and prosperity.
They do.
Wings picking up an elephant, that has to be quite a task.
Mm-hmm.
So did you you have a question? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you showing his artwork right now?
Well, I noticed on your webpage or Facebook page, this one you had a hard time letting go of.
Yeah.
So, as an artist, I want to ask you that when it comes to an original piece and you do let go of it, how difficult is that? I mean, you say it's
Ooh,
difficult,
yeah.
but I mean, that's kind of like your baby. I mean, you created it, but then you're letting it go. I mean, is that difficult?
It's getting harder and harder with each painting. Like originally, when I was starting as an artist, it's like anything I could sell to just
Right.
get it going.
Pay the bills.
I was happy to. But now I get so attached to these paintings and I put so much into them.
I'm sure
And
I'd
I
be
want to
like,
make sure they go to the right people. And
So tell me about this piece that we're looking at right here. So tell me a little bit about that. What was the
Wow.
inspiration
so
behind
that kind of just goes into everything I look at is just a matter of figuring out how it works, how things move and function. And I love just taking anything from scratch and figuring out how it works. So that's like my version of how my eye sees things
Sees the
and breaks
world.
them down and analyze them and just finds the gears that make everything work.
go ahead, Kat.
I was just going to say, you're talking about dreams. So do you wake up in the middle of the night or do you keep something by your bed and just start sketching then?
No, so in my dreams,
'Cause I don't
I'm
remember my dreams all the time.
So I actually paint in my dreams. So in my dreams, I paint things, and then if they're good enough that I remember them in the morning, a lot of them come and go. I don't capture them all.
you're literally painting
I'm
in your
sitting
dream.
at my easel in my dreams painting, and And then when I wake up in the morning, if it's something I really love, then I just hold on to it. They happen a lot quicker in dreams. I can just move my paintbrush around in dreams and a painting shows up.
Have you ever talked to a dream expert or anything? Because that's really incredible, because a lot of times I'm not sure why that person, that random place, whatever it is in my dream. It makes no sense at all. And you're actually dreaming of yourself doing what you do. That's really deep.
Yeah, so one thing I don't want to do is analyze it so
That's
much
true.
that it
Sorry.
starts changing the way
But I
things
want to
go.
talk about this.
No, so I kind of just
Wow.
analyze them. That's where my animations come from, is kind of just analyzing the picture I'm making.
Do you have any of those, Gordon, that you can show? Do you have any of the elephant with the wings that you'll be able to? Yeah, look at that. So can we talk about your art and what I experienced? And do you have that, Gordon? Is there that what I showed you?
No, I can't show that.
Shoot.
I can't show that on here. I can later.
'Cause it's
If you have a
moves.
video of that, I can put that up there. But
I do have a video on. We can add it later when you put
Yep.
before we edit. And
Yeah, it's something
this is-
I'm still trying to learn how to show people and describe. Paintings come to life.
so let me ask you this. So in other words, those of you that are looking at the elephant right now on the flower, actually when you put this, what is it, an iPad or what is it that you use?
So I just have an
Virtual.
app that I've developed that goes along with my paintings.
and then when you put that over
When
there,
you
the
have
painting
that on
comes
your
to
phone or
life.
tablet, you point it at my paintings, and they come to life with the animations I made for each one of my paintings.
And I put a video on my Facebook, but when we put when the actual show is edited and put into a version, it'll go up on inyourcityshow.com. It'll go on to our In Your City Show YouTube page as well, and we'll be able to add that, because I was mesmerized seeing, when you see that elephant right there on that flower, when you put the app that you've developed right over that, the elephant starts to fly and the actual painting comes to life. And do all of your paintings do that, or is it some
so
of them?
I have about 15 of them that do it right now.
Okay.
I'm going back and animating some of my older stuff, and then everything I put out in the future will be an animated painting.
Won't that be amazing? Because technology is so ever evolving that we'll actually have where you won't need the app, but the actual painting will just come to life in certain light, maybe, or something like that shines on it. I mean, who knows what's going to be available
never know.
as time permits.
And
but,
I'm trying to keep ahead of it all. And
I bet you are, Mr. Engineer Technology guy that cooks and is able to paint. Do you
So
have any-
tell me about this one, because this is a little bit different than what you...
Wow.
So this one's actually a special story. If you've grown up in St. Louis,
Yes.
your grandma probably took you on this adventure where you go to the zoo, and then back in the 80s, there was the mall downtown,
Yeah.
the St. Louis Center.
Sure.
So my grandma would take me to the zoo, and then we'd go
I
to
was
the
in
mall
high school
downtown.
then.
And then,
Went by myself.
yep.
And then,
So
we
those-
see the balloons, which is coming up, the
This looks like
the
a
balloon race. But
this
here's,
looks like a movie you need to promote.
am I seeing a little Easter egg in here, right here?
Yeah, that's my logo back there. I tend to hide it somewhere in most of my paintings.
That's what you were talking about earlier.
I'm
that-
talking about the blue light and the blue lanterns,
Oh.
which is what I want to get to, too. I notice there's sheds, and I notice there's blue lanterns. So tell me a little bit about the blue light and the blue lanterns that I see in
Like
here.
everything I do kind of just goes back to my childhood and my imagination and trying to hold on to it. So like sheds and tree houses, like I just so desperately wanted a tree house as a kid, and
Yeah.
so those show up a lot. The blue lanterns were just like when I started doing art, it was kind of a whole process of rebuilding my
I
wouldn't
noticed
want
the
that
blue.
tree
I noticed the
house.
blue on the piano, even too.
So the blue lights are just reminding me to stay calm. I had a bunch of lanterns around my studio that I was painting in, and it was just a calming effect for me.
Your virtual studio has a lot of blue lanterns
Yeah.
in it too, which is really cool.
Who wouldn't want that tree house? That's the coolest tree house ever. But that's a really cool statement too, to say to keep your childhood
Yes.
alive within you, which I'm sure refreshes your soul, calms your soul, and gives you that peace and tranquility that you need to continue to draw. You must have been a love of animals as well, because they play a big part in your dreams and of course are in your paintings.
Yeah, so I live out in the woods, and like I
Have an
I'm
elephant?
friends with no elephants
I'm
yet.
friends
but
with all the animals.
I'm friends with all
You're
my
like Snow White out
Yeah.
there. Come to me. They're all sitting on your shoulder chirping.
So I have my possums and chipmunks and all
I
my
just
friends
envisioned
hanging
you
out there.
painting and all the animals behind you watching you paint them.
Just
That's
coming
kind
in.
of how I feel when I'm painting.
Oh, that's amazing. So have you lived in St. Louis your whole life then?
Yes.
Okay.
I've moved away a couple times, but I always come back. and-
Just like to art, you're finally back and where you need to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know if we mentioned or if I missed hearing. What is it that you paint with? What is your art? What do you do your art of?
These are all acrylic paintings now.
Okay. Now, so what did you used to do?
As I was learning to paint, I just kind of went through drawing to make sure I could draw everything myself, and then I went into black and white paintings and just kind of slowly added one color at a time. And
As you were learning, I mean, I find that incredible as you were learning, and this has just been the last 4 years, and your artwork is brilliantly gorgeous. Did you realize, I mean, were you good as a child and you just didn't catch on and
no,
realize
I've
you were
always
good?
drawn. So
Okay.
It was just 4 years ago that I kind of really took painting seriously. I'd done a couple in the past here and there, but it's really like
Do you feel like that finding your passion finally in life and really going after it has changed your life?
oh, it's in so many ways, and it was always my passion. I always knew it was.
And when you
I
say in so many ways, because so many of us stay trapped in a world of fear that we have to continue to keep doing what we're doing because we're afraid to step out of it to pay our bills, to live our life. We really don't know how to live our passion. We might dabble in it, but we really don't make a step to really live the way we should live. And I mean, how can you inspire somebody to go after their dream, whatever that is, and not to be afraid?
That's exactly what I did. I walked away from careers and I just wanted to do what I've wanted to do since I was a kid. And I had to let go of all that in the fear of being poor and broke and just live in it for years.
Hence why you're living in the woods now. Do you have a you have a roof?
I'm
right?
not in a shack, but
You're not in a tent
No.
out by a water. Well, what's that?
he's
In a
living in
van?
a shed
Yeah,
up in a
no,
tree.
No, I'm living in a van down by the water. What is it? What's that famous
Plenty of time to
comedian
live in a
line?
van and down by the river
but
when you're
even
living
if
in a van
if
down
that's
by
what
the
it
river.
takes to do this, and
Yeah.
you
Yep.
can find peace and happiness in anything.
Anywhere, absolutely 100%. I agree with you.
And that's
I
kinda
always
what-
tell her I could be so happy in just a 2-bedroom cabin out in the woods. No.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that though? In
I
a
could.
2-bedroom cabin out in the woods.
I'm gonna need somewhere to
the
go.
hot tub.
I
Not a-
said 2-bedroom because I'm
Not
gonna
a-
need somewhere
not
to
a-
go. when
Not
you're
a
upset
shed
with me.
out in the woods, or a camper, little bitty thing, but a cabin in the woods. Who wouldn't be happy in a cabin out in the woods?
Oh, you
a
get
cottage.
tired of it. You'd get tired of it. I wouldn't, but you would.
Well, no. I mean, I wouldn't get tired of it if I had all the laps of luxury brought to me.
Yeah.
I'd be just fine
Well,
with
to me,
it.
it's a balance, and you can see that in my art. It's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
animals and the city. I love
Yeah.
the city too. I love being downtown.
Just visiting it.
No, I've lived down there plenty
you?
of times too. I'm always
Have you?
torn between wanting to live in the woods and wanting to live in the city,
Yeah, I'd
and just finding a
probably
balance of them.
pick the woods and visit the city.
Yeah.
Would be my dream.
That's
I
my
guess.
new game plan.
Yeah. Well, you're doing amazingly
Yeah, we
at
love
it.
it.
And you want to make sure if you're coming down to St. Charles Main Street, if you're looking at April's on Main, if you're looking at it, go to your left and probably a half a block, maybe you're on the I think all the booths are on the left-hand side if you're on that side. And you have to stop by the booth and then, of course, take the app and go over Andrew's artwork. It's quite incredible. We appreciate, I know you've got to get back to your booth and I just want to talk to you, but I know you want to talk to other people. So Andrew Rola, that's Rola, Andrew Rola Art. Go to andrewrola.com. Take a look at his work. It's gorgeous. Take a look at each piece, and you'll, I'm sure, want to take one home with you, and you'll let go of it. You will let go of it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
it's
your
been a
time.
pleasure.
It's
So
really
much.
been
It
a
was
pleasure.
Good to talk and
Yeah, thank you
very
for
much.
inspiring others to go after their dreams. Appreciate it. Thank you. Andrew Rola. Andrew Rola Art, you've got to go down to his booth. Oh, well, thank you again. You go ahead. You can step up and watch the cords. Be careful, and then we'll come down and so that he can see your art as well. Thanks, Andrew.
you so
Bye. Gosh, isn't it like, you don't realize what people, how they do what they do and taking that risk of just going on a limb and giving up their careers to find their passion in their career. Melinda, are we going to have Mollie with us today? She is coming. She running.
Coming.
Don't let her trip. So we are going to speak to Mollie Chounard, and she's a modern fantasy and surreal painter, and she's from St. Louis. So kind of nice that we're getting to speak to people who's, I love how we're being able to see the streets. How fun. So Gordon, he kind of is a little
toys.
techie. He got a new toy. It looks like R2-D2 out there spinning around and taking a view of the streets and scaring people right now with it. And being able to see the actual what's going on. I love that. So, okay, I'm glad that you got your new toy.
It's like our news weather cam.
It's our news weather cam. Well, here comes Mollie right now. Gordon was having fun. We're talking about his new, I call it the R2-D2 new camera that he has. It's spinning around and showing the streets. And there is Melinda. You're going to catch Melinda there as you spin around. There she is. Wave. And now we're going to come into Mollie. Glad you could make it. Hi, Mollie.
Hi, nice to
I'm
meet you.
Kelly. This is Gordon, and this is the
Nice to meet you.
In Your City show. And here's our magazines. You'll have to take some with you. Chesterfield,
awesome.
St. Charles, and Clayton. We're going to have to get you featured. As you can see, we have an artist, Faith Berger, who is actually on the cover of our September style issue. We've got a local artist that's going to be on the cover of actually our Chesterfield and our Clayton issue. I don't know if you've heard of Jovan Huel. She just had her art displayed at Saks Fifth Avenue, and it's called Butter Knife Girl. So I don't know if you get to know other artists. And then we had another one, actually. I must be in love with artists right now. I think I'm so inspired by the talent and the creativity and how different and unique you all are. Stephen Walden. He is an artist. We've had several artists, and we actually featured one last year as well that was part of the art show. I think I'm jealous because the talent that you all have, I was mentioning earlier, I'm doing a paint by number that I can't even seem to get through right now, and my dad was an incredible artist, and they didn't leave me any of the talent, so I'm a little bit upset with them, but that's okay. I'll move on from it. So Mollie, you are known for paintings that tell stories. Do you have a few of Mollie's that you'll be able to show while we're talking to her?
I got lots of questions to ask her.
We'll start asking.
Well, here I'm gonna throw this one up because this is near and dear. If you look at this is near and dear to our heart.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Oh
It's
my
Mary
God.
Poppins.
He told me he had a surprise for me of something he was going to show. And of course, this is Gordon used to be. This is now the love of my life. This is Olive. And I've written a children's book that's actually launching the 28th of September.
Oh, that's awesome.
And at Newtown Hall, if you'd like to come, it'll be at 5:30 in the evening.
Oh,
Would
awesome.
love to have you. It's open to everyone to be able to come and join us. So, but yeah, the love of my life. And he said he had something. So I wondered if it was going to be a bulldog. Can you put it back again?
Yeah, there's so many great things that you do that it's like.
Tell us what
Speaking of
inspired this?
Easter eggs, that's what I
Oh,
was
you
saying
got it
earlier.
too?
Yeah.
Her art is full of Easter eggs.
Tell
so
us-
it's like, and it's like, see if you can get this one, Kel.
Okay. Well, it's Goldie Hawn, but I don't know what
Well, it's the two of them in Overboard.
But
And then it's Escape from New York, which Escape from New York, 80% of it was filmed right here in St. Louis. And,
And then
did you know
Death
that?
Becomes Her.
Yeah, Death
What-
Becomes Her.
And then also Little Trouble in Big China.
Yes,
so it's
right
all
there.
different movies wrapped up into goosebumps
So,
into
yeah,
the
I do
movie.
a lot of movie mashups where a lot of people will do like a person or like personality or movie star, and they'll just do like one of their movies. Well, I liked he's got Gene Wilder,
Oh my gosh,
Willy Wonka, and Young Frankenstein.
one of my favorite.
Oh,
Oh
me
my
too.
gosh,
Absolutely.
I love that.
Which at one point in Willy Wonka, he kind of became Gene Wilder and Young Frankenstein when he kind of lost it at the end with Charlie and you bumped into the ceiling. You therefore needs to be sterilized. You lose. You get nothing.
I get
And that's
this.
pretty
This
much
is
what
my
my
life
booth
with
is like.
him
No,
is movie
that is-
clips and voiceovers.
That is my booth every day.
I
People
think I
are
love
quoting
this one.
movies and laughing and having fun.
It's
Oh
Grandpa
my gosh.
Munster with
my favorite
Count
show
Dracula
growing up,
and
the
Count
Munsters.
Dracula from Sesame Street. That is so awesome. Let me put that back up there.
How does this happen to you? How do all of these things mishmash into your brain and come out in artwork?
So I do a lot of brainstorming. I probably know every technique there is. And, I think I'm always trying to create something in a way that nobody else is doing it. Because I mean, I could sure just paint a movie star or do an animal that's popular, but you need a twist to it, you know.
Oh, Wonder Bread, Wonder Woman.
She's the breadwinner.
She's the breadwinner.
So I couldn't fit them all on here, but if you go to her website, then she's got the titles to each and every piece
So
of
it's
art.
her name. It's her name. That is her website, which is Mollie with an IE, MOLLIE, CH for her last name, CHOUNARD.com. There it is, right there. Her name .com, and I'll be sure to fill these in with the Facebook where we're live, and then get it onto the YouTube. We'll put all these things there and on In Your City show. When did you start, or when did you know you were an artist?
Well, I fought it for a long time, but no, I've been doing.
I keep hearing that. Why do you all fight it? If I had this talent, I'd be diving into
When you're
it.
a little girl, you want to be an artist, and then you think, well, I want to make a living. I don't want to be dependent on somebody else. I wanted
to be a movie star.
You know, like so. And I've always
So talented.
always drawn, doodled, paint. You know, like all the things.
It could have been in one of your paintings. If I would
Yeah.
have been a movie star.
But I
Darn
also
it.
loved science and math.
So did Andrew, who we just met, engineering and math.
Oh, Andrew Rola.
Yes.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh, you even said it better than he. You say his name better than he does. He's Rola. You're like Rola. He's Rola.
Well,
Andrew
we
Rola.
were joking about that the other day. I'm like, I married my last name Chounard, and I'm like, so.
Ooh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
You said it way better than I did. Again, I think I was like Chounard. You're like
It looks like
Chounard.
Chounard when I met my husband. I'm like,
That's
but
not happening.
Chounard, and so I'm like, oh, Andrew, you have a name, because I had been calling him Rola, and he's like, no, it's Rola. I'm like, oh, now we both have fancy last names. So yeah, that is part of the fun.
So you kept fighting it,
Yeah,
and then
so I went to college, and I was determined to get a degree and go into forensic science or something fun. And then
Wow.
I took another art class, and that was it. I'm like, forget it. So then I ended up graduating and transferring and changed my major, and I ended up with graphic design and illustration. And I took so many painting classes, they gave me a minor. So
forensic scientist to being an artist. And Andrew is engineering and was a chef, and I mean it's crazy how you come around. So are you a movie buff?
oh yeah, absolutely. We
Do
love
you-
movies and TV, all that stuff. And especially, like, a lot of the stuff I do is from my childhood. Because I feel like
You
it's
guys
gotta
must be best
nostalgia.
friends because
Now, wait a minute. You cannot be this old.
I
No.
am. Yeah, I'm a Gen
Count
X.
Chocula and
well, Sesame Street. We've all been through Sesame
Sesame
Street.
Street. Hello,
But the
1, 2,
Munsters,
3. Yes.
the Munsters were
I'm
my
in the Gen
favorite.
X group.
You're not in my group. It's not possible. My group's way
The
up
blue
there.
hair, I think, is misleading. I think sometimes
The blue hair.
Yeah,
The blue
I think it
hair.
does.
It's artsy.
Yeah,
It goes along with who you are.
yeah.
So do you have a favorite?
You know what? I think my favorite is always the one that I'm working on or the one that I just finished. And so I just finished this. So I love dinosaurs, and I've always loved them, and I have several paintings. But I
Take those
just
with
finished
you.
one that's like a dinosaur for girls. So it's almost like a Barbie dinosaur. And
Oh
so
my
it's one of
gosh.
my favorites. Yeah, I just came on the website like last
Barbie's
week.
hot right now. You're going to have to pay a bunch of those.
Well, and it is pink and like turquoise, and so there's like a little strawberry dinosaur, like that's like her little sidekick, and he's got a little strawberries, and it's fun because I have a
Do you
lot
have
of
that
boys
one
that
by
buy
any chance,
dinosaurs.
Gordon?
no, I don't have that one. I was
Shoot.
going to bring it up, but I can put it on later when
Okay.
when I edit
Yeah.
it.
All right.
But I like the one too. It looks like it's in a library, and it looks like the body has got the bookshelves
The
and
Bibliosaurus.
Bibliosaurus.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes.
Bluosaurus.
And that one just came out of like, again, I love dinosaurs, and when I was a kid, we had the little bookmobile that would come to the
Yeah, I
and
remember
so
those.
I'd
Oh,
exhausted
those are
the
so
library
fun.
at our school from all the dinosaur books, and so whenever the bookmobile would come, we would be so excited to be like a fresh influx of dinosaur books. And so then over the years, I put those two together, and that's how we came up with that one. It's just the old time bookmobile. Kids don't even know what that is anymore, but those were like transporting you to another world when you climbed on board, and you're like, it's a bus, really, but
Oh,
it's just like
yeah.
a little.
So excited when that day came,
I know,
right?
yeah, it was-
I was even excited when it came for my kids. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, you must be thrilled. It's bookmobile day.
Yeah, my daughter's like, what? What's a bookmobile? I'm like, okay.
So can we go to one of the pictures?
Yes.
If you pull anything that we just saw contract, maybe Wonder Woman or I don't know, there. Okay. So where does that begin? Do you just like, you're sitting there and you get this thought in your head, and how does something like that begin to develop? Because there's so many meanings within you got to start with something, and then it just goes from there.
So it usually starts with a person, or there's a subject or an idea that I want to get across. And so it starts from that. So like the Gene Wilder one, Gene Wilder had just passed away, and I knew that I wanted to do something as like to pay homage to like everything that he meant to me as far as like in my childhood. And like there weren't a whole lot of like surreal kind of movies that really made
They don't make movies like that, don't they?
I just don't. And so I wanted to do something to like really personify him and to do it in a creative, unique way. And sure, I could have just found the image and just done him, but I wanted it to be more than that. I want you to experience it and to dive down that rabbit hole with me. And so that's why I put
rabbit hole.
Well, yeah, I talk about rabbit holes a lot, because a lot of times I want people to be able to like almost want to just climb inside and look around, and usually like, you'll see the surface of a painting and then you'll look again and you'll see something new. And that's what I love. I love those Easter eggs. I love, having them experience it and having a conversation piece that somebody can have.
Yeah.
And they come to their house like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, yeah, but did you see this or that?
Right.
That's what I love. And so it starts with that, and then I brainstorm like all the ways that I can make it creative, or like, like they always say like the 7 things from like Kevin Bacon, like 7 degrees. And I always try to find, So then you try to find like a different avenue.
Have you done a painting with him then?
No, not yet.
There's
There
7
might be,
degrees
for
of
sure.
Kevin. You're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, you never know. And that's where it comes from. And then that starts then it's all about words at that point. Mm-hmm. And then I'd start to think about how that looks image-wise, and then I will design it, and then lay it out, and then I'll transfer, then I'll either draw it or just transfer it onto a canvas. And then they still get tweaked and drawn again a few times and then painted.
So when you say you draw, is that what your paintings are? They're different types of pencils, or?
So no, my paintings, honestly, nowadays I don't really even draw a whole lot with pencil or charcoal. Obviously it's pencil, but I am typically creating something in Photoshop or even Paint.net or some of the free services or whatever, and I'm literally doing the drawings on there, and then I use a projector and I project it.
Oh,
so
wow.
That way I don't have to erase a bunch of times, because canvases don't take that very well. At least not, because I don't gesso my canvases first. So I'm designing it so that I can move things around, and I'll do bits of drawings and then I'll import them into Photoshop, so that I'm literally laying it out in there, and then I'll just transfer it onto the canvas.
And what do you call that type of art?
This is like fantasy, surreal. It's like a modern twist.
Wow.
I've got something that I want you to watch if you've never watched it, because I want you to look at it and see if something inspires you to draw from it or create something from it. And you ever see any of the old Sinbad movies from the 70s? Mm-hmm. Ray Harryhausen?
Yeah.
That stuff. That would be fun for you to create, because there's so many. That was all stop motion stuff back then with the skeletons. You had to move them like every second and then film it. But it's just so much fun stuff in those old 1977 Sinbad movies.
That is an interesting idea. You never know.
Call us if we can help.
That's the fun thing when I come out to a show like this, and people will bring up ideas, and I encourage that, because I can be inspired by literally anything, and sometimes I get stuck on a brainstorming idea, and I'm just like, I don't know what it needs, and then just talking to one other person, and you're like, oh, they think of something in a way that I didn't, and then I can then that will make my brain then, okay, well then let's move on, so. Yeah, it's super fun.
We'll call him, because he has a mishmash head. There's all kinds of things going on up there that come out. I'm like,
we could have fun. I could just give you ideas and you can create it, because I can't create it.
You could sit all day together and
Especially
talk.
Movies.
What size would we find your art in? Is it coming in all different sizes?
Yeah, I tend to work in standard sizes because of framing. I don't love framing. So I tend to paint in like 12 by 16, 16 by 20, 22 by 20, whatever that size is. But yeah, I work like 24 by 30 is the largest I work in.
Very cool. Well, Mollie, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know you're going to have a fabulous weekend. People are certainly going to enjoy seeing all your artwork, as I know that we have very much so. So again, we'll put that up there, your website, Mollie Chounard. .com, modern fantasy and surreal painter, and right here from St. Louis, which we love. Your paintings do tell many stories within them, and we really appreciate meeting you. Thank you so much
Well,
for
thank
coming
you for
down
the
and talking
opportunity.
with us. Thanks so much.
right.
Did you happen to get a picture by any chance there? Oh yeah, I want to make sure of a picture. I'm hoping you got one of Andrew. I totally forgot to hand you, just to make sure we can clip some pictures, though we're actually from the show, so it's okay. I worried, but Gordon actually knows. Hi. Knows how to actually get some stills from the show, so I don't have to panic right now that we haven't been doing that. So thank you
All
again,
right, well,
Mollie.
thank
Enjoy
you.
your day. Be careful of the cords. All right, what a fun day.
It is fun.
It's- you're amazed at what they can do and how each person does their art differently. I mean, they're all unique in their ways of working.
And it's interesting to me too that there's mathematical backgrounds and
Yeah.
engineering, and that's the intricacies, I think, of how art is sometimes. I mean, you have to be really detailed
Right.
on certain things, but
And how
I
that,
don't
you
know
know,
if Picasso was detailed. It kind
Right.
of just threw.
do you think we're ever going to get, like, finally go and leave what we're doing and be inspired to find our skill? Am I going to ever have a skill? Actually, my
You had the gift of gab. You
That-
had and I mean
that's
that
not
in a
gonna
good
get me
way. No,
anywhere.
I mean that.
Just-
yes, it does.
just
because-
wear people's ears out is all I'm
No,
going to do.
because some people can just sit there and not know what to say next, but that's not you, and that's
No.
a gift that you have.
That can be annoying. My gift could be annoying, so that's not always
My
so
gift is
good.
just making
and
it
my
look
laugh.
good.
I don't want to. I listen when you play back. I can't stand to listen because my laugh gets in there. It's like, why does that come up? It's like I don't throw up or
but
something.
your laugh is what
No,
makes you so
no,
special. That's
but
what that's what attracted me to you.
Oh, right. That
Your
took a
laugh,
long time, Mr.
and-
Slow.
And you're always in a great mood until
Yeah.
you married me, and
Well, my passion project, which I wish I could just leave everything and just continue with my children's books, but Oh Olive, just want to make sure that is September 28th, 5:30 at Newtown Hall. There she is. She graced each cover, and I want to mention Isabella Brewster. I hope that she is someday down in this art festival going on, the Mosaic Art Festival, because she is an extremely talented artist, and this is her first chance at doing a children's book with me. It was kind of one of those, we just found each other and it happened, and we're so grateful for one another, and I hope that she'll be working on the next books that will continue to the next one, Oh No, A Big Bad Bully. That will be the next Oh Olive book. So I look forward to that, and I hope if you're not doing anything on September 28th, you'll join us at Newtown Hall. So what a wonderful day. This is still continuing to go on, the Mosaics Fine Art Festival, the 28th annual. Today we've enjoyed being here and having our hot list guests on the show with us. Thank you to Melinda Nolan with Roemer Originals being on the show with us, being a big part of the show as a board member, not only volunteering her time like everyone else here for it, but they will be here today, I think, until 8 p.m. and then Sunday tomorrow 11 to 4 p.m. There is all kinds of things going on for the children, the family. There's music going on. There's the art shop for kids that, of course, is in memory of Mary Heidegger. There is the H. Robert Pank Memorial Music Stage. There is pet adoptions going on, the Artists for Adoption Pet Pavilion, located at the north end of the festival, the Joyce Rosen Founder Scholarship Art Display, and of course all of this at the Mosaic Art Festival going on all day today and tomorrow till 4. So thank you for joining us. This is the In Your City Show, brought to you by Chesterfield, St. Charles, and Clayton City Lifestyle magazines. You can go to inyourcityshow.com and find out about the magazines, find out about In Your City Show. If you want to be our next hot list guest, or you'd like us to be live at your event, you can contact us at inyourcityshow.com for more information. Anything you need to say before we go, Gordon?
No, it's been a great day. I mean, the weather's been great. The guests have been great. It's always Main Street is wonderful. Plenty of things to do, not only just for the fair, but there's always great restaurants and great shops down here as well.
Yeah,
So,
check out our InYourCityShow.com page, our In Your City Show at YouTube. See all of our great shows that we've had, and this one will be up shortly. Once you get the beautiful edited version, it will be there for you. So until next time, peace.